Hello and welcome. All right, so let's talk about something anyone who's built a bot knows all too well. You spend all this time crafting it, you get it working perfectly in your little test environment, and you think, great, I'm done. But that's not really the end of the story, is it? That's actually just the beginning. The real heavy lifting isn't just getting the code to work. It's about turning that code into something that's actually useful for people in the real world. And this really gets to the core of the issue. A bot that just sits in a builder, one that only works in testing, it isn't a product. It's a prototype. It's an idea waiting to happen. It's not real until it's out there, talking to actual users, dealing with messy, real-world data, and having a real impact. So, what's the magic ingredient? What's that bridge that takes a bot from the safety of the lab and puts it out into the wild, making it a real, working product? Well, that whole process, that's deployment. You can think of deployment as that bridge. It's not just one thing. It's everything that goes into making your bot available for people to use. It's about hooking it up to all the other systems it needs to do its job, and crucially, making sure that whatever work the bot does actually goes somewhere useful. So let's just imagine our bot for a second. When you first build it, it's kind of floating in a void, right? It's all by itself. Sure, it can chat, but it can't actually do anything. Deployment, well, that's all about building the connections it needs to become useful. And the first most basic connection, you've got to give the bot a home, a place to live. For a lot of bots, this is something simple, like a chat widget on a website. It's a spot where users know they can find it and start a conversation. Okay, so it has a home. Now what? Well, next, you've got to give it some tools so it can do its job. Think about it. Integrating with a calendar, for example. Suddenly the bot isn't just talking about booking a meeting, it can actually look at your schedule, find an open slot, and book it right then and there. It's become useful. This is where things get really powerful. What happens when we give the bot access to information? Imagine connecting it to your CRM, your customer database. Now, when a customer comes back, the bot can recognize them. It can pull up their past orders, their support tickets. The whole conversation becomes personal and way, way more efficient. And the last piece of this puzzle, the work the bot does, has to end up somewhere. It needs a destination. I mean, what's the point of a bot qualifying a sales lead if that information just vanishes? It's useless, right? So you have to build a path for that data, like automatically sending a notification to the right salesperson. But out of all these connections, to websites, tools, databases, there's one that might just be the most important of all. And that's the connection to a human. We're talking about the handoff. This single moment is often where an automated system either shines or completely falls apart. And come on, we've all been there, haven't we? The bad handoff. That infuriating experience where you spend 10 minutes explaining your problem to a bot only to be transferred to a person who says, "So, how can I help you?" And you have to start all over. Ugh. But a good handoff? It's seamless. The human agent just says, "Okay, I see what you've discussed. Let's pick it up from here." It's a world of difference. And this is exactly how it's supposed to work. A smart system doesn't just transfer the call, it transfers the context. It bundles up the entire conversation, the transcript, any data collected, and hands that complete package over to the human. For the user, it feels like they're just continuing the same conversation. It's totally effortless. So when you pull it all together, why is this deployment stuff so important? Because it's not just about flipping a switch and making the bot live. It's about design. It's about thoughtfully crafting a complete user experience, from the very first hello to the very final outcome. And this leads to a really important shift in how we should think. We tend to see a handoff to a human as a failure, like the bot couldn't handle it. But that's the wrong way to look at it. The handoff isn't a failure. It's a feature. It should be a planned, designed part of a system that knows when it's time to bring a person into the loop. Because at the end of the day, you're not just building a chatbot. You're building a workflow. The real goal is to create an efficient, automated process that actually gets something done. Something that saves everyone time, reduces frustration, and benefits both the customer and the organization. So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. Next time you start a project like this, instead of asking, "What should my bot say?" try asking this first. What does the entire journey look like? From the first moment a user engages to the final outcome. If you can map out every connection, every handoff, every step along the way, then the bot you build won't just be a cool prototype.